that guy was asleep in the lobby of the Little Wise River post office, our friend Grace, the postmaster. And that he said he was a trapper that got stuck up the road and walked 8 miles through wolf country and didn't have a gun, so he brought his axe in case the wolves tried to get him, and knocked on a door, and Penny Ruth up the byway opened her window, saw an axe man, startled her, and he said, hey, call my wife, verify it's good. I know Tim Montana. Take me to the Wise River Club. Turns out, this motherfucker I do know. He's been in every Western. I've done 3 Western movies, and he's been in all 3 Western movies. He's a mountain man, fur trapper, backcountry dude named Jake, who his thing is he carries an axe for a walking stick because he's a backcountry mountain man, and he was up trapping beaver, and his truck got stuck, and he said, brother, I had a real string of bad luck. He's also a Vietnam-era sniper. He's like, I had a real string of bad luck. My truck broke down. He goes, I had to walk 8 miles through wolf country and bear country, and they were howling real loud, so I had my axe handy and said, well, take me down to that Tim's Wise River Club, and the Wise River Club was locked. I checked all the doors. Apparently you guys were closed. He goes, real nice place, by the way. I really like it. So he goes, the wind was howling and it spit in snow and ice. And he goes, so I went to the post office, slept for the night, and had another cowboy buddy pick me up at the Mercantile in the morning as I had my coffee and I headed down the road. He goes, but I ended up trapping 4 or 5 beaver, so it wasn't all bad. And I'm like, do I tell him that government agencies were trying to figure out who he is? I'm like, that was either an axe murderer or only that.
Yes.
Or now the band is joking if we see someone that looks sketchy. We're like, oh, it's a fur trapper. It's okay. You're banging on the door with an axe in the middle of the night. Oh, it's a fur trapper. You jump a stranger in the middle of the night. It's a fur trapper. Why didn't you say so? Still, I'm just like, Jake, maybe you set the axe down before you bang on windows in the middle of the night. You know,
just from now on.
Yeah, he's just holding that fucker, just looking all scary.
That is hilarious.
Only in Wise River.
Oh, my gosh. So Wise River's something new. Another thing that's new.
Yeah.
Fuck country music. It's all rock and roll now.
I know. Isn't it weird? I moved to the most country place in the world and have a hard rock hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about that one time. That other weird shit you did.
But, coming off, you had your first song come out, last year on the rock side. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, Devil You Know, that's an awesome song. I remember you playing it for me whenever you had first kind of were starting to work on it and loved it. I think it's even better after, some of the little edits y'all made and released it. Talk a little bit about that ride, because that's you've gotten very adored by the rock community very, very quickly. Yeah,
it's wild, man. And it's interesting when all these guys are like, so you had this career in country music. And I'm like, well, kind of. Country music never let me in.
Yeah.
Right? So for them to suggest that is kind of I don't know. I don't get mad at who suggests that, but I'm just like, Nashville never let me in. I never got played on the radio once, like in that 17 years, because I was always too loud, too rowdy. I cuss too much. I'm too obnoxious. My hair's too long. My amps, blah, blah, all these reasons as to why I didn't fit the Nashville norm. And I think I had too much personality for them, too. There's probably that.
They wanted a guy that could just,
Yeah, fit the mold, right?
Yeah.
Just carry on and sing the song.
Stamp another one out.
Yep. So anyway, I didn't fit that mold. And then this opportunity came up for Wise River. So I said, you know what? Let's fucking get out of Nashville. I want my kids to grow up like I grew up. I grew up off the grid up there. Let's get back home. So I hightailed it to Montana, turned in a rock song. And the weird thing is, we didn't know the closing date on the Wise River Club. We get a call from the escrow company. It's August 30th. I get a call from my label thinking I'm getting dropped, and they said, we think you got a rock hit. You're going to radio. And I'm like, when? They're like, August 30th. And I'm like, what? God, what are you doing with plan A and plan B on the same day? And so August 30th was a pretty monumental day, 2023. We go to radio. We close on the Wise River Club. I'm living up there. And then iHeart has this program they rarely do called On the Verge. And they made me iHeart On the Verge artist. I remember people calling me at the label screaming, your life just changed. Holy shit. And that's like an automatic add to all their radio stations. You become their featured artist, and that song just like a rocket shot up through the top 40 and ended up at number 5 for 3 weeks, top 5 Billboard rock hit.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
got me on these tours. I'm doing most of the Danny Wimmer festivals this year, which is a huge. I mean, my old drummer Brian Wolf called me. He goes, "You're playing with Cypress Hill and Pantera," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, it's weird, right?" But yeah, so we're on the Stain tour this year. Stain, Seether, Saint Asonia. Then we go right to Bush, Jerry Cantrell, and Candlebox.
No offense. For me, that's the one you're probably going to have to be like, Chad, you can't come to 4 shows in a row.
Right.
Because, dude, I mean, Bush, Alice in Chains, and
Candlebox.
I mean, dude, that's
everything I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
And they've been so cool. Like Bush's manager's reaching out and he's like, hey, Gavin wants you to send in a version of you singing Come Down. And I sent it in and they loved it. And they're collaborating on posts like Bush. I'm like, dude, I grew up listening to these people. This is wild. And my number one that I've not met yet is Jerry Cantrell. Because I know that his dad's a Vietnam vet.
Guys, thanks so much for watching the clips. If you would like, please subscribe. Also, if you'd like more clips like this, click here. Or if you'd like to enjoy this whole episode, click here.